Hey guys, what's up? It is James J, the Texas Mortgage Boss. I am excited to continue our first time homebuyer video series. We are in week 3 right now. So we are going to be discussing today something that comes up quite often. People seem to get these confused at times. So we're going to talk about the difference between the appraisal versus the inspection. The appraisal versus the inspection. You may not get to one if you don't get to the other one. We'll discuss it. All right, so appraisal versus inspection. Okay, so this is something, again, that comes up quite a bit, and sometimes there seems to be some confusion about what they are. They are completely opposite. All right, completely opposite. But as a first-time homebuyer, you may not know what happens first or when one happens versus the other one. So we're going to discuss that and make sure that we clarify the distinction between the two. All right, appraisal versus inspection. Now, if you are paying cash for a home, you may not need an appraisal. Oftentimes when people are paying cash, they actually don't even get the house appraised. So unless you're in that situation where you're paying cash for it, well, you're going to need an appraisal. But we're going to start with an inspection, because if the inspection doesn't go the way you want it to go, or you can't negotiate with the seller after the inspection is done, if you want to negotiate a lower price or repairs, you may never get to the appraisal. Okay, so let's discuss appraisal first. So an inspection first. So the inspection is something that is voluntary. Okay, you don't have to do it. However, it's something that if you have a realtor and they are not recommending you to get an inspection on a property, I would run away, especially on resale. Now, new construction is a little different. Okay, some people want to do inspections on new construction if they had a bad experience before with a builder. Oftentimes, they may want to do an inspection even on new construction. Your situation might be a little different. You may choose to forego an inspection on new construction. Okay, it's a brand new home. By the way, that does not mean that something can't happen. Okay, so just because it's new construction doesn't mean it's perfect by any means. So an inspection on new construction, if it's waived, probably not that big of a deal. I usually recommend for people, if they're going to forego the initial inspection on new construction, that before their warranty ends, where it's covering everything. Most builders are going to have at least a 1-year warranty where everything in the house is covered. My recommendation is that you get that inspection after you move into the house. It's very challenging and difficult for a builder to simulate you living in the house every single day. Okay, so what does that mean? After you've lived in the house, you're gonna work out some kinks. There's just stuff that's going to happen typically on a new construction property. Nothing crazy, but there's just things that happen. Wait until after you move in, maybe wait 6-7 months into it, and then you take that builder a list after getting an inspection done and say, these are the items that I need you to address. Okay, that is just something that I recommend when it comes to new construction. You can do whatever you want to do, but new construction is one of those things that's going to be optional for a lot of people. Some people are just going to forego doing it. Some people absolutely want to do it. Okay, now let's go back to resale. On a resale home, you want to have an inspection. I don't know of any situation where you don't want to have an inspection. Okay, this is for your peace of mind. You and your realtor, if you have one, are not going to see everything that's going wrong in the house. Okay, an inspector is going to go through that house. They're going to get on the roof or have their drone get on the roof nowadays. They're going to get in the attic. They're going to search. This is stuff that you and your realtor are probably not going to do. So that inspection is peace of mind. That's what I look at. It's peace of mind. So an inspection may run you $300, $400, $500, somewhere in that range, depending on what you're doing, what the inspector is inspecting. If it's just the house, if it's a pool, if it's a septic, well, then those prices may go up. But This is paying for your peace of mind to know that you have done all your due diligence up front and then that you still want to proceed with the house. If during the inspection, there's something that comes up that the inspector finds, it might be something that causes you to walk away. Okay, it may be something that causes you to go back to the seller and renegotiate. Could be renegotiating price. Maybe you're having them repair some things or something along those lines, or you walk away. That's what you want. You want those three options to know for sure, hey, I've done my due diligence. I have my inspection report. Now, these are things I can live with, and these are things that I have to get taken care of. If you're buying resale, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, it's not. So keep that in mind when you're doing the inspection and you get that report. There's probably going to be several things on there, depending on how old the home is. There might be a list of items. Oftentimes, inspectors will point out things that are out of code sometimes. It does not mean that the seller actually has to bring it up to code, depending on what it is. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the inspection. But the inspection is something that is your peace of mind. That's how I look at it, and that's how I talk about it when I'm explaining it to other people. It is your peace of mind. Okay. You do not want to buy a home when you have not done all your due diligence, and then you get into the home and you find out there's something going on. Okay. Do not bypass an inspection on a resale home. I highly advise you not to. Okay. Now let's shift over to the appraisal. You may never get to the appraisal if you can't work through the inspection. Okay, so inspection is going to come first. The appraisal is going to come a few weeks later, typically. So inspection usually gets done within the first few days of going under contract. You're going to have an option period typically on resale, not necessarily on new construction. There will be no option period. On resale, you'll typically have an option period. Could be anywhere from 5 days to 12, 14 days, depending on what you can negotiate with the seller. In the market that we're in right now, most sellers want to have a shorter period for the option period. Okay. The option period gives you, the buyer, the right to walk away from the home after going under contract for whatever reason you choose. Okay. So just say you have a 7-day option period. Typically, the option period is used to get the inspections and to do all the other due diligence you want to do during that time. You get it under contract, you've got 7 days to do whatever you want to do inspection wise. And it doesn't really matter what happens with the inspection. You can decide, hey, I don't want to move forward with this home within that 7-day window or 10 days or 14, whatever you negotiate. After the option period is over, you then are looking at financing. There's another contingency for financing, things like that. But let's just stick on the appraisal. Okay. So you're going to have your option period. You're going to have your inspection. If you can work everything out with the seller during that inspection period, we're going to continue to move forward with the process. The next most important thing is going to be that appraisal. Okay. The appraisal is not something you can waive, guys. It's not. If you are getting a mortgage loan, you have to get an appraisal. Lender's not going to waive your appraisal for you. Now, you as a buyer may waive your right, which is happening all over the place right now, where buyers are telling the seller, no matter what the house is appraises for, I'm still going to pay you the sale price. That's just the market we're in right now. Nothing, it is what it is. You can choose to do that if you want to. It's your money. Lenders can't tell you not to do that. They can't. But just know from the mortgage side, as a lender, we're only going to give you money or a loan based on what the home appraises for. What you do above and beyond that is your call. It's up to you. But the appraisal is something that the lender is going to request to make sure that the house is worth what you're paying for it. Okay, so $250,000 house, we want the house to appraise for $250,000 or higher. Okay, if it doesn't, again, you as a buyer can waive that right and you can still pay the seller $250,000. We as a lender are not going to loan you $250,000 if it doesn't appraise for $250,000. So just say it appraises for $245,000. Well, your mortgage your loan, it can only be for $245,000 minus your down payment if you have one. So the appraisal is an opinion of value from a licensed appraiser. There are situations where appraisers they appraise it low. The realtors, listing agent and selling agent, then have to provide comps to boost what the appraiser came up with. So if they say it's $245,000, you're trying to get it to $250,000. There's got to be some comps, what we call comps, which are just comparable homes where the listing agent and the selling agent, the listing agent and the buying agent can say, hey, Mr. Appraiser, these are some comparatives. We think the price should still should still be at 250, or not price, but the appraisal amount should still be at 250. Oftentimes, these appraisers do not change their mind. I mean, you have to have some real strong evidence that they're wrong. So if that does not happen, lenders are going to go by what the home appraises for. Okay, so your sales price can be whatever you want it to be, whatever you and seller agree to. Just know, as a lender, we can't give you anything above the appraised value. So the appraisal is an opinion of value. Every mortgage company is going to have one. They're going to use whatever that value is based on the appraisers. Technically, it's their opinion, unless the listing agent and the selling agent can come up with some type of reason where they can show, no, this house is worth what the sale price is. Again, appraisers oftentimes get, when they make a number, when they request, or when they evaluate a home, it is very challenging to get them to change their mind. I mean, it just is. So keep that in mind. The difference, again, appraisal, inspection. Inspection is going to happen first. If everything can get worked out through the option period and beyond, you and seller work out, you're still going to move forward with the home. We then will order the appraisal. Actually, let me back that up. We're actually going to order the appraisal immediately. Just because appraisers are taking a little longer, we like to order it immediately. Usually it's going to take them a week or so before they ever even get out to a home. So we normally want to have that appraisal happen after your option period to make sure that you're actually going to move forward with the home. We don't want to order an appraisal and then you cancel or you opt out. So we want to make sure that you are moving forward with the home. We will order it, and we want to make sure that you're going to move forward with the purchase. So do me a favor. I want you to put in the comments, I get it. All right. Because again, there are a lot of people that are having some challenges just differentiating between appraisal versus inspection. Typically first time buyers that have not purchased a home before, they confuse the two. Okay. So inspection is going to happen first. Appraisal is going to happen second, assuming you're going to move forward with everything. So again, comment below. Tell me I get it. If you guys have questions, we're going to be back in a couple of days. We will be discussing timeframes, so closing times. What does that look like right now? How long does it take you from contract to close? What happens in between? And you know what? We're just going to continue to educate. If y'all have questions about anything, please let me know. Send me a DM or give us a call. Phone number and everything is below. You can also go check out TexasMortgageBoss.com.